6 right, 200.
Of course, you know, we're basically the guys who are in the zoo, and these guys are at home. I mean, they can run across in front of us at any time, and that's where the helicopter really comes into play.
And will those helicopters ever come into play later? Stick around, much more from day 2 in Kenya, coming up on Speed. Early morning Safari Rally, Stage 5, the day's first. Now, days 2 and 3 normally see the top 15 run in reverse order, but not at Safari. That's because of the danger of the leaders catching slower cars on these long sections. And so Tommy Mäkinen was first to pick his way over the rocks of Stage 5, rocks that would cause problems for the rally leader. Slow going. Colin McRae and his co-driver Nicky Grist next into the stage. Little did they know the dramas which lay ahead. Their first headache was hitting a bird. It broke the windshield. We'll go on board, and I want you to keep an eye on the right-hand side of the screen in front of Grist.
Six left, tightens. And 6
bird.
right.
Mäkinen, though, was in more serious trouble. He'd broken one of the Subaru shock absorbers, and so he was limping through the stage. Not long before McRae's focus caught the Impreza.
Opens. And keep left over fast rocks.
The message from Subaru management is when you are within 200 meters, Tommy will pull over and let you pass.
Problem is, Mäkinen didn't know McRae was back there. His helicopter wasn't answering radio calls.
Yeah, we've told him. We're telling him again.
The 6 left, 70. Care, jump, and fast ruts. 70. 6 left over.
Tell his pilot to get pull over now.
6 left over, jump me.
We are doing.
Fast bump and 6 crest. 250.
Hey, get him to pull over.
Steady now. Care, fast hold.
Yep, it's going to get those.
That was
6
very
right.
sporting of him.
300.
Yeah, I know, Colin. Yeah, I've told him. I'm telling the management now.
Well, McRae was hot, not knowing about Mäkinen's communication problem, and soon the scene was repeated. This time it was Carlos Sainz and Louis Moya in another Ford who would suffer.
We cannot see David. We cannot see.
Tommy to stop, but he's not stopping yet. You are maybe
Salta, piedra, derecha, una más ojos, se abre. 2, salta. 2, izquierda rápida, ojo por izquierda, cartel, salta.
Tommy is stopping on the left. You have clear run in 200 meters.
Thank you. Rápido, ojo por izquierda, cartel.
In all, Mäkinen and Kai Lindstrom lost around 8 minutes because of their suspension problem, dropped from 1st to 6th, and this was just the first 3 cars on the stage. Stick around. We'll be back with more action. Welcome back. Day 2 from Kenya. One of the drivers who benefited from Tommy Mäkinen's misfortune was Harry Robinpera, who moved up to 3rd place behind Carlos Sainz. Kenneth Eriksson and Tina Turner, meanwhile, climbed to 4th in the Skoda.
Lyft, okej. 300. Och lyft och vatten. 40 höger 5. 80. Vänster fram till krön. 130 håll vänster. I höger 4 minus. 20 vänster 2. 20 vänster 2.
Watch Eriksson's face.
Vänster 5 kort 2 gånger.
Moved over from Hyundai to Skoda. With him, it seems to be all about holding your mouth right.
Det är dubbelvarning upp i vänster 5.
This is a new pairing, Tina Turner and Kenneth Eriksson. She used to be paired with the Swede Thomas Radström, but he moved to Citroën and they wanted a French co-driver in the car. Tina, of course, was co-driver with Jutta Kleinschmidt in 2001, won the Paris-Dakar Rally overall.
Höger 4
Perhaps
plus
best of all, this is the
20.
first time in 10 years she's been able to read the pace notes in her native Swedish tongue.
Break i vänster 2 minus. Break i vänster 2 minus. I höger 4 minus. 20 vänster 2. 20 vänster 2. 20. Vänster 5 kort 2 gånger not inside. I höger 5 till dubbelvarning upp. Till dubbelvarning upp. I vänster 5. 30 över gupp, höger 5. I vänster 5 till driftvatten. Till krön 70.
All right, now let's talk about the other driver who moved up a spot, Marco Martin, in the third of the Fords. Despite concerns over what Martin thought was a flat tire, he and co-driver Michael Park now fifth. A brilliant performance. Remember, this is their first ever Safari Rally.
200 rough 5. 46 left rough. 250 goes straight.
Tell you what, that kid's got gunfighter eyes. The two Citroen Zaras suffering mixed fortunes. The team mechanics have been awake all night rebuilding broken suspension units. Thomas Radstrom's suspension setup, though, a little too harsh. He was only 8th fastest on the stage, over 26 seconds slower than the Peugeot of Richard Burns, who was 6th quick. Have a listen.
Slight left to left max over crest. To left max 80. Slight left 70. Right max to right max 80. Left max 350. Left max 70. Slight left. Slight left 50. Bumps 60. Flat right plus bump 6 plus 150. Slight crest 450.
Now here's a headline. The other Citroen, driven by Sebastian Loeb, was fastest on the stage. The team's first ever Safari stage win, one which must have delighted the mechanics after their sleepless night. Now, the prize for the strangest problem on the stage, got to go to Alistair McRae and David Sr. Listen carefully, you'll understand the problem is fluid related, but has nothing to do with the car.
Burst for the oil. Can I get out of the control? No. Oh, sorry.
Everything okay?
Yeah, well, once they're clear of the control, Alistair can take care of the problem, and David reassures the team that there's nothing they can help with.
Yeah, fine, Glenn. You can see the problem. Alistair's desperate for a pee.
We had, for half of the stage, I thought we had a puncture, but it's not, so it was some handling difficulties. In the left-handers, it went just sideways all the time. So we're going to try fast in the left-handers, but otherwise, no problems.
Any problems? Oh, we drive carefully. Everything when it's rough, 2 gears under the possible, so we try to conserve the shock absorber.
And so the leaderboard looked very different after stage 5. McRae, Sainz, Robinpera, Ericsson, and Martin all passing Mäkinen thanks to his suspension failure. Loeb's stage win meant he took over 1 minute and 15 seconds off the man ahead of him, Richard Burns. Virtual spectator helps us understand how he did it. Goes off the road looking for a smoother line. We saw Colin McRae do this on day 1. Worked great here.
Theoretically, we have 2 solutions at this point, and we decided to try the 2 solutions, and for me it was the best one was at the left.
About 57 kilometers, and there is 2 choices, and we make the notes in the right side. But today morning when we coming into this place, and we changed the mind.
Because at the left you have to be very slow at the beginning because it's very rough, but after that it's fast, and on the other side you have a lot of jumps and slow corner, and I prefer to go at the left.
Of course that is big risk, and in Safari is maybe not best things doing, but sometimes you need to take the risk because you take the risk all the time in this rally.
Well, you knew after yesterday somebody would try that trick. And as for McRae, he's still hot. We'll find out more in a moment. Here's Colin McRae's reaction to what happened with Tommi Mäkinen.
Colin, you now have a 2-minute lead. What happened out there on the stage?
Well, we passed Tommy, but we were unfortunately stuck in his dust for a long time. And then when we did manage to get right on his tail, he wouldn't move over either, so it wasn't very sporting of him.
4 times World Rally Champion should perhaps know a bit better.
Well, I think him and the team should get the situation sorted. Everybody sort of, there's a gentleman's agreement that if the car has a problem, you will pull over and let the faster car pass, and that was the case, and they didn't do it.
But there was a reason Mäkinen didn't do it.
We had no information at all. I was angry when you passed. I said, "Ask what the hell you do? Why you didn't inform? We had no information at all that you are behind. I'm very sorry that." And it was also very dangerous place. Of course, I could pull out straight away. It was not my target to try to keep you behind. Sorry that.
Okay, there's no information then.
It was really, we have something wrong with our radio. I'm sorry, very sorry about that.
The whole situation was communicated. Ford contacted us. We reviewed the situation. We immediately got our helicopter to track where Colin was. We reached a damp section at that point. Now the whole thing, it's just one of these things. Look, I expect drivers to get hot under the collar. You know, if they're not determined individuals, they wouldn't be rallying.
There you go. And away from the simmering row, Richard Burns Mechanics had a new rear windshield waiting for the 206. At Citroën, there was delight at Loeb's win on the stage, even if the mechanics did seem a bit weary from their long overnighter.
You must be very pleased that your mechanics stayed up all night to fix the suspension. That's dedication.
Yes, I think they work very hard all the night, and now it seems to go, but it was a stage not too rough. We'll see in the next stages if it's now okay or not.
But the next stage, the Rally 6th, canceled. Low cloud cover grounded all the spotter choppers, making it impossible to run the stage safely. The crews headed back to service, where the helicopters were waiting for them.
So confirm all the helicopters are grounded, is that correct? Everybody's helicopter, including the other competitors?
Every helicopter's on the ground now, except the Army helicopter. There was a few guest helicopters took off, and then they got called back as well.
All right, Rally's back after this. If Colin McRae wins Safari, he'll be adding to a long list of Ford successes in the sport. Most of their pedigree came from the Escort, but the new millennium called for a new car.
The focus evolved really from when we were awarded the contract in 1997, which was then the final 2 years of the Escort World Rally Car, and the plan was to introduce the focus in 1999, starting with Monte Carlo. I think it should go down in the record books that it was from a clean sheet of paper to a running World Rally Car in 8 months.
The Focus has won in most surfaces and conditions. On the rough stuff, it's great.
I've always sort of favoured the rough and more demanding rallies, but I always felt that that was the one area that you really needed to concentrate on the car and making the car very strong. And also a lot of discipline in how you actually service on the event to maximise and get the maximum life out of all the components. The brief was very simple to the designers and engineers, is that we have to be able to make it strong that you can drive flat out over Acropolis type roads for 1 week without having to replace any of the suspension components, because that is the most crucial part. And yes, we're still fighting that battle of getting the weight down, but I think again you can see that the strong point of the Focus is its strength and ruggedness on the more difficult events.
For the last 2 years, Ford has been a serious contender for the World Manufacturers title, only to see the crown snatched away by Peugeot. The French outfit have again started as the better team this season, but this battle is far from over.
I think if we can win here and get some more points advantage over Peugeot, then I think the championship is still absolutely wide open and there to go for.
Well, then on to stage 7, close to 69 miles, longest of the day, but at least the Air Force is back on duty. Tommy Mäkinen, though, must have wished this stage 2 had been canceled. 15 and a half miles from the end, his bad luck is back.
Ja vasen täystielle. 300.
First, the rear suspension failure on stage 5. Now, a flat tire. Mäkinen and Lindstrom quickly out of the car to change the wheel, but they lose another 3 minutes. Surely any chance of victory is now gone. McRae, second fastest, extending his overall lead to nearly 3.5 minutes. But expressing concern to Nicky Grist near this stage finish that the spectators are standing in some dangerous spots.
56 left over bridge, 200. 6 right, 350 over finish. Okay.
Hold on, everything okay?
Yeah, no problems.
Their teammates, however, did not have a trouble-free run. Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya suffered a flat, and so once again it was time to get the tools out, change the tire.
Medio. La carretera. La izquierda buena más corta. Ras 1. Aquí.
No sé si hemos pinchado en dos ruedas, ¿eh? Venga, dame las cosas, dámelas.
Yeah, their focus was soon on its way again, but it was Mäkinen's misfortune which slowed Harry Rovanperä. His Peugeot caught the Impreza, and once we go on board, you'll see why other drivers hate catching another car and why it's so important with a slower car to pull over. It's all about visibility.
Millä puolella? Ei näe mitään. Pyö pois se siitä. Pyö pois sieltä. Pyö pois. Voi vittu. Perkelee. Missä se tie on?
That is just a hopeless situation.
Oikein tässä aukeaa. Huomio, puu vasemmalla, rytky K, usko. Puu vasemmalla, rytky K, usko. 100. Ja rytky oikein laita täysi, jatkaa oikein helppo. Sanon, että pysähtyy, saatana. Sano Eskolle, että vittuu sieltä nytte.
Rovanperä in his 4th season, full season of World Rally. 1 victory so far, Sweden in 2001.
Vittu.
Frustrated
rytky
here.
oikein laita täysi, 105, pitkä vasen helppo. Puu sisään. 7 talo. 7 talo vähän oikein täys. Tässä on tää ja 7 talo vähän oikein täys. 300 talo edessä oikein helppo miinus. Talo edessä oikein helppo miinus. Slow down tilaa.
All right, enough of that. While one Peugeot struggles through the dust, another charging hard from behind. World champ burns these run when we return.
The FIA World Rally Championship is brought to you by Subaru. Visit us online at Subaru.com to see the full line of Subaru all-wheel drive vehicles.
All the news of the weekend from Two Wheels or Four. Speed News. Catch the half-hour version Saturday at 7, Sunday 2 half hours, NASCAR at 7, and everything else at 7:30. Back to the matters at hand. Marco Martin and Michael Park, 4th fastest on stage 7 of the Safari Rally. They took nearly a minute off the pair in front of them, Kenneth Eriksson and Tina Turner.
Flat left ruts. 250. Care, crest, ruts. 4 right into dip 1. 40, 4 plus right, long. 4 plus left. 50.
There you go. The terrain, hard on the drivers and the co-drivers, hard on the cars, and hard on those onboard microphones. Richard Burns and Robert Reed set the quickest time, their first stage win, although they are still 8th overall. Over 2.5 minutes slower than the Peugeot was the Mitsubishi of Alistair McRae and David Sr. Their main problem, the fact that the local wildlife wanted a better view of the action.
Right over 4 bumps.
Why did the wildebeest cross the road, or whatever that thing was? Notice how these guys being tossed around in the car.
Medium left minus, tightens over crest, into medium right tightens in, and easy left minus opens, 4 rocks, 120. Braking left over 4 rocks, tightens to kink left and medium right. Kink left, medium right, and medium right plus tightens.
Best finish for these guys this year, 5th in Sweden. Attrition could get him up into the points here.
Braking straight crest and flat left on crest, 4 rocks and kink K left and right plus. Into keep left and right and medium left and into medium right minus tightens, don't cut. And opens into K right plus tightens, care 1 dip.
Now we're going to switch on boards and go with Juha Kankinen and co-driver Juha Rappo and the sole remaining Hyundai in the rally, the pair managing the 12th fastest time on the stage, and that's good enough for 10th overall.
Opens. 70 over bump. Fast left. 70, easy right tightens to long fast right. Seppo, kato ettei me auto palaa. 100. Flat left. 150. Long flat left. 200.
Interesting that Kankinen is Finnish, but the 4-time world champ takes his pace notes in English.
Straight over bump 70. Keep middle over bump to short easy right. 50. Long easy right opens, pisti 400. Mä luulen, että sammuttia tyhjää merkkiä vai? Pisti 400. No, flat left 400. Flat left over small crest 500. Fast left and K right over crest. 70, long K left to crest.
7 stages down. McRae still leads. Robin Paris second, thanks to Sainz flat. Ericsson, Martin, Mäkinen holding on to their places. Burns' stage win did not help him move up the order, but an incident right outside the service park would help him a great deal.
Any problems in there, Kenneth?
The puncture the last 10 kilometers, you know, so we had a lot of vibration, but it was okay. I slowed down, but no problem.
Well, Ericsson clearly wasn't aware of this problem. The trail of transmission oil, pretty hard to ignore. Complete transmission failure quickly followed, leaving Kenneth and Tina to try and fix it themselves, despite the fact that they were just a few hundred frustrating yards from the mechanics. In the end, the team decided, well, enough is enough. This battle is over.
Stage win. What went right on that section?
As I don't know what went wrong on all the others. I just didn't really lift off for any of the rough parts except the very, very worst. One place we missed our braking and very nearly finished the rally there, so it is a risk to go that speed.
Now, it wouldn't be all smiles for the reigning world champ or others as the attrition rate continues to climb. A frustrating stage 8 coming up. Safari Rally, Stage 8, a reversal of the second test, and turning the stage around transformed it into even more of a car breaker. Tommy Mäkinen set off into the stage over 2.25 minutes behind the man in 5th place, Marco Martin. Everything appeared to be going pretty well. But about halfway through the stage, Mäkinen's rally will grind to a halt. Listen as the road punishes the car.
Oikein miinus tiukka reikä. Ja nyt pitää tähän oikealla poppiin helppona.
hit. Right there. Front suspension failure. Mäkkinen's 6th retirement in 8 rallies. Wow.
Okei, me tullaan takaisin katsomaan.
No warning at all. Suddenly lower wishbone from front left just broke down, snap, and we couldn't do anything. We don't have that wishbone here. We cannot change it.
Does this retirement means the end of your championship, Tommy?
Yeah, it looked very bad. It was not a good day for us.
A better day for Carlos Sainz, taking to the grass to look for a smoother track and avoid the chance of a similar fate. Stage 8, though, seemed determined to claim a few more victims.
Para izquierda rápidamente, menos poco tarde. Acaba acá en cruces de tierra. ¿Qué queda? 39 kilómetros. Izquierda acá en cruces de tierra. Para uno corto, César, derecha calenta de tierra.
Sainz, you recall, had a victory earlier this year, the ultra-smooth and ultra-fast Argentina rally. He actually finished 3rd in the results, but then Gronholm and Burns were disqualified.
Para derecha rápidamente, al menos se abre. Abrirse, acabará en derecha, buena más ojo. Para izquierda, buena más ojo, 2. Izquierda, derecha, buena más corta, para 1. Izquierda acá se cierra y se abre. Para derecha acá se abre y atención, salta en tercera fin. Derecha acá se abre y atención, salta en tercera fin. 1 por izquierda. Izquierda buena más, se abre. Para derecha buena más, se cierra. Para izquierda rápido, ojo.
Sainz had a great opportunity here to move up in the championship points, but you guessed it.
La Sande en derecha, para la Sande en izquierda acá en cruce, 2. La Sande en izquierda acá en cruce, 2.
Now listen carefully for Carlos giving Luis the bad news.
Muy pressure, Luis.
Sure enough, they were finished, joining Mäkkinen, Gronholm, and the others on the retirement list. And to Ford's relief, neither Colin McRae nor Marco Martin reported any similar oil pressure problems, but the mechanics would check these cars very carefully at the next service.
6 left over jump, Levy tightens to 5 plus through rocks.
Clearly, McRae was not loving the sound of those rocks, and so, again, took to the grass. Only 6th fastest on the stage. The Scot apparently had decided to back off and save the car.
Into right and left into K, medium dip. And 6th crest, 50. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well done. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's okay. What was the last split there, Martin?
He was still the same.
McRae concerned about Rovanpera's time because he was over 30 seconds quicker than the Scot. The gap between the pair, however, still lingering around 3 minutes.
6 left over crest.
Like teammate McRae, Marco Martin also seemed to have backed off a bit. 7th quick on the stage. He could afford to let up a little. His closest competitor, Thomas Radstrom, over 5 minutes behind.
100 easy right, 70 easy left, 80 whole middle, 400, 6 minus left long, tightens, keep in, $50, flat right, long, 200, flat left.
Now to the world champ Burns, winner on the previous stage, attacking this one as well. 3 retirements in front of him, meaning he's up to 5th and in the points for the first time. There's Mackinnon's car out, but Burns broke the suspension just 500 meters from the end, leaving this guy, Gilles Panizzi, supposedly the asphalt specialist, to set the quick time on the stage. And so with 3 stages down, here's how things stack up. But remember, Burns, like Kenneth Eriksson before him, still has to navigate in the thick dust back to the service park. The other guy had a broken transmission. He's got a broken suspension.
JC, we're stuck at the service.
There's a rally car.
It's completely on its bottom, and all the wheels are spinning.
For François, you can go reverse. Maybe it's easier reverse.
I think we haven't tried that. Come here and give us some suggestions. Come here. We're just 100 meters from you. Okay, we tried to put some advertising banners under the wheels. Francois, it's finished. Please, can somebody come?
Okay, no problem, Robert. Somebody is coming to take you with Cat, no problem.
Gilles, you must be delighted about your first ever scratch time on gravel.
Fantastic. Very good luck. For me, it was 80 kilometers extraordinary because it's not very Africa in this stage. It's like Finland sometimes. A lot of jump, very fast, the road, always a full attack and fantastic.
Gilles pretty pumped, I'd say, after his first gravel stage win ever. One more stage to go. Stay tuned. All right, quick, find the remote, crank it up. Time to go on board for a safari ride in the back seat. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and try to figure out what it takes to conquer Africa.
6 left tightens. And 6 right. Right, and 6 left opens, straight 1.3 kilometers.
Ja pitkä oikee 6. Hyppy eri plussana tarkasti vähän sisältä kiveen 2. Ja nyppy täys 100. Pitkä oikee täys pidä keskellä 250. Vasen ja huomio hyppy rytkii helppo miinuksena. Ja vasen täys yli 8. Huomio rytky erinä keskeltä. Vasen täys, joo, sitä rytkyy sulle vaan. Vasen täys yli 8, huomio rytky erinä keskeltä. Heti nyppypoppu helppo miinuksena. 150. Pikkurytky poppu, huomio 9. Pidä ihan oikealla rytky K+. Heti hyppy K plussana. Ja pitkä oikee täys. 280. Miksi et sä Esko sanonut mitään, että toi tulee takaa perkele?
20 höger 4 plus i vänster 4 nyper. I vänster 4 nyper. Till höger 5 kort 2 gånger. 20 vänster 4 till varning raff. Vänster 4 varning raff. 20 vänster 1. Vänster 1. I höger 5. 80. Höger 4 plus kort 20. Höger 3. Höger 4 plus kort 20. Höger 3. Break i vänster 2 minus. Break i vänster 2 minus. I höger 4 minus. 20 vänster 2. 20. Vänster fram kort 2 gånger not inside. I höger fram till.
All right, we got to do that break thing. One more stage still to go. Stick around.
I vänster fram.
Safari Stage 9, a repeat of the day's first, but what dramas might this test bring? To Colin McRae's relief, he and Nicky Grist again had no problems. Fourth quick, they were letting the man behind them take all the risks.
And 3 left minus. Into 4 right. Into 3 right plus 2 bump. And 4 left over bumps.
Now the man behind Colin, Harry Rovanpera, again 30 seconds quicker than McRae. The gap from first to second narrowing, but only 3 stages remaining tomorrow. Is it too late for Harry? Sixth fastest, Marco Martin, happy enough. Third after the stage. Looked as though a podium finish might be possible on his first ever Safari. Engine problems, though, would mean he'd pick up a 4-minute time penalty in service. That dropped him to 4th behind Thomas Radstrom. Now, Martin's Friday adventures included almost driving into a river, having to change a wheel in the middle of a stage, and then having a tire come off the rim twice. He admitted he's not having a lot of fun on his first rally. It's a Safari. I just want to go home, is what he said. Hang on, kid. One more day to go.
150 crest, 4 minus right.
Also making his Safari debut, Sebastian Loeb. But another fastest stage time meant he too was a happy man, with Radstrom now 3rd and Loeb 5th. Citron is having a terrific rally. When you think about it, Loeb is really one of the big stars of this event. 2 stage wins on his and the Zara's Safari debut. Pretty impressive. McRae then will take a lead of nearly 2.5 minutes into the final day, with the rest of the top 6 pretty well spread out. Meanwhile, Skoda's Roman Krusta hoping for some kind of problem for one guy, enabling him to score his first point.
Never knows what happened tomorrow. Maybe every car is not so finished.
It really depends on Harry. He's been pushing very hard in the last few stages, so we'll wait and see. Our pace is good at the moment, you know, with the cars in good condition. So if we try and alter it, that's when we're going to have problems.
Well, who'd have thunk it? So many stories, so many retirements, and we've still got another day to go. Speed, as always, back with same-day coverage of Leg 3 and Rally Extra to wrap it up on Monday. And late news of even more drama tonight. Marco Martin's car would not start again, this time in the final service after all the stages had been run. He eventually got it fired, but the ensuing penalty has now dropped him another place to 5th overall. I think the old cliche definitely applies. It's never over until it's all over. Join us tomorrow, see if Colin McRae can take his 2nd win of the year and find out who else may fall victim to the Kenyan bush. I'm Dave Despain. We'll see you tomorrow. I wonder if those really are wildebeests.